Hi, Shalom friends. The brain is an extraordinary organ. It seems to be the only organ that we possess that's not limited or rooted in the here and now. I mean, it's quite obvious. Where's your kidney? Wherever you are. Where's your liver? Wherever you are. Where's your mind? Oh, my mind. Mind could be anywhere. So you could be physically sitting at work, and your mind is at home, and in many ways, emotionally and perhaps even intellectually, you could be elsewhere. But it's not only that you are elsewhere. This organ called the brain, which I talk about, the mind, actually transcends time. All of us know that we cannot bring back time. And yet, with your mind, you could go back in time and relive it. We call it memory. With your mind, you could anticipate the future. You could go to a place in time which does not yet exist. We call that imagination. I mean, it's remarkable. It's right over here. It's in your body. It's localized. And yet, it has the ability to transport you in a physical form, which I'll explain in a minute, and in an intellectual form elsewhere. It sounds mystical what I just said, but it's a reality. So, for example, if someone suffered a trauma, which could have happened years ago, and then something triggers that memory, the body will respond as if it was there. We know this to be a condition. Tens of thousands of veterans suffer from post-traumatic. Their heart beats and everything changes. The metabolism changes. Everything changes. And elementary relaxation. You don't have to be a great meditator. If you want to relax, sit in a comfortable place, close your eyes, and imagine being in a place which is pleasant. And your heart slows, and your muscles relax. So it actually has a very strong physical effect on us. And we're learning more and more about it. The Kabbalists were quite aware of this hundreds and hundreds of years ago. In fact, they actually went deeper. And they said, not only can you imagine being elsewhere, but you are where your thoughts bring you. Let me explain that. Let me take randomly a famous holiday. Okay, it's Passover by night, and you're sitting by a table. We have the Seder. You're going to be eating the matzah. You're going to be drinking the wine. You're going to be eating the bitter herbs. You're going to be telling the story. And in this atmosphere, you will be saying, tonight, God did not only take out my father, my grandfather, my great-grandfather, but I was there. Now, you're not there. You're in San Francisco. You were born in America. And your father and grandfather were never slaves. What does that mean that you celebrate the Seder? Well, one of the meanings is, with the proper concentration and meditation and preparation, you actually, though you might be sitting by your dining room, your mind, your heart, your body, and obviously your soul is in Egypt. And you're eating the Paschal lamb. And you're anxiously awaiting the sound, no more slavery, you are free men. God Almighty is splitting all of heavens for you. Some of us might glimpse that reality. We call them the tzaddik, and others believe it. But that is the power of the mind, to not only imagine something, but to be there in a very, very powerful way. let me add something. The holy Baal Shem Tov, the founder of modern Hasidic movement, taught and elaborated on a teaching of a holy mystic, the Arizal. In the story of Purim, at the conclusion of the scroll of Esther, it mentions that Queen Esther, the righteous Mordechai, these were the figures that enabled the story of Purim to take place. And very quick reminder, it's basically a story that unfolds over many years. And the theme of the story is that God, though hidden, is very much real, very, very involved. And though we do not see always the details, we don't always see the bigger picture, nothing happens without divine providence. And at the end of the story, the wicked Haman who plotted against the Jewish nation was destroyed, and to the Jews there was joy and light and rejoicing. Okay. So when the story is told, it mentions that these days, Niskarim, these days, the days of Purim, will always be remembered and done and performed. Now we understand why these days will be remembered, but what does it mean they will be performed? It almost implies as if the days are reacting in the same way the days were in the days of Queen Esther. And the holy Baal Shem Tov actually taught, when a person reads the story, when you contemplate the meaning of the story, the day becomes real to you. Which day? You might be in March of the secular calendar 2022, but you're actually living through a day that happened over 2,300 years ago. And the spiritual energies, and that's what's crucial, the spiritual energies that unfold and get revealed during these awesome days of holidays are actually being repeated today. So every day a person can experience going out of Egypt. Every day a person can re-experience God's providence being revealed. And every day a person could re-experience actually an exposure of godliness that perhaps was only suitable to be revealed in the Holy Land, in the Holy Temple. Okay, a little bit heavy. Let me bring all of these thoughts into a very poignant story that I read from a Rabbi Spiro. And you'll listen to the story and hopefully you'll understand the point that I'm trying to convey. This is a story that happened, I think it was in Brooklyn. There was a Rabbi, a teacher, at a 5th grade. And it was Hanukkah time, so the mood was a little bit lighter. And at the end of the class, instead of going literally until recess, 10 minutes before recess, the rabbi during Hanukkah would tell a story or a joke or just have a light conversation. And one day he decided to teach a song. The rabbi had a nice voice, so he tells the students, for the last 10 minutes, I'm going to teach you a melody. The rabbi, when he sang, he used to get into it. So he closed his eyes and he began teaching the melody. And he said to the children, I'll sing it once. And then after that, those of you that pick up on it, try to hum with me and you'll pick up the melody. He sang the melody once. His eyes are still closed. And as he repeats the melody for the second time, kids are shy. So he hears one kid from the left and another kid in the front, sort of humming. And then he hears a third child, not sure where he was exactly sitting, his eyes were closed, but this was a beautiful voice. Not only did the kid learn the melody just listening to it, but he actually was harmonizing. And it sounded nice. as if this kid had been practicing with the rabbi. He had actually a nicer voice than the rabbi. So the rabbi quickly opens up his eyes and he looks, and he's a little surprised. It's coming from the corner of the room. There was a student that he had, his name was Joey, and he was always like sort of an insecure kid, pretty much quiet. Even by recess, he wouldn't always participate. He would sit at the corner of the yard and watch. The kids liked him, but he was really very shy. It was almost as if he was protecting himself from something. But here, kid is really a beautiful voice. So the Rebbe, after teaching the melody, he turns to, he says, Joey, that was beautiful. You know, you should be singing in a choir. Where did you learn how to sing so nicely? And the rabbi thought that it was a compliment, but Joey's face turned red with embarrassment. And the rabbi realized that he had touched on some type of a nerve. He had no idea what he said wrong. He gave him a compliment. So he said, change the subject very quickly. 2 minutes later, the bell rang, and everyone goes out to recess. As the rabbi gets up to go to recess, he realizes that Joey is hiding something, and inadvertently the rabbi embarrassed him. So he figured that he'll go and apologize. So he walks out, and Joey's to the corner, goes over, he says, Joey, please forgive me. I'm not sure what I said, but you looked very upset when I said you should really sing in the choir. I really believe that. You have a beautiful voice. So Joey looks at him and he says, but I do sing in the choir. Rabbi says, you sing in the choir? Really? Which choir? He said, Rabbi, if I tell you, will you get angry at me? He said, no, promise me. He said, okay, I promise. He says, I sing in the church choir. Rabbi was blown away. This is a religious kid in the yeshiva. And he was just like sort of gazing at him and could only sort of mutter, one day you'll sing in the choir in the shul. And Joey says, you told me you wouldn't be angry. The rabbi says, I'm not angry. I guess I'm a little surprised. Joey says, let me tell you. He says, my mommy was married to a man who was very not nice to us. And I don't remember him that well, but I remember that he was not nice. So we left the house. Last year, my mommy married a nude fellow. He's very nice to us, but he's not Jewish. And he loves my voice, so he asked me to sing in the choir, in the church. I go there every Sunday. It makes my new dad, very happy. And he's so nice to me and my mother. My mother said I should do it. It makes him happy. Now he's looking at Joey completely different. This poor kid is such a complicated life is a good way to say it. He's just a kid in 5th grade. And as he's looking, Joey says, but you know, Rebbe, when I sing in the choir, sometimes I close my eyes and I think I'm singing in a shul. That's the end of the story. It's a true story. So ask yourself, where are you? Where's your choir? Where you physically are, or when you want to be? Well, I hate ending a YouTube with that. So let me end off with, where are we? What are we thinking about? We're thinking about a world where nations won't fight one another. We're thinking of a world of the future where people will get along, where Jews will be happy, knowledgeable, vibrant in their religion. We will be in Israel. Yeah, you know the drill. we're thinking Mashiach. Well, if our mind can actually create that reality, let's hope and pray that it actually materializes in a way where our physical body will experience it as well. Shalom.